Hello guys, and welcome to another profile tree video. So in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the best language for web development. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started. So the best language for web development depends on various factors, and that includes your project requirements, your team expertise, performance needs, and personal preferences. Now, there's several different programming languages that are widely used for web development, and each of course have their own strengths and weaknesses. So we're going to go through a couple of the most popular languages used for web development, and our first one is Python. So Python is a versatile and easy to read language, and it's known for its simplicity and readability. Now, it's widely used for back-end development and has several web frameworks like the Django and Flask that's able to facilitate building robust web applications. Now, Python's clean syntax and large standard library make it a popular choice for web development, especially for data-driven applications. Now, to download Python is fairly easy. Now, if you visit the website, you've got a couple of options. So, one for Windows, you've got macOS as well. So, if you click on Python, we can see that the latest release is Python 3, 3.11.4. Just be careful though, because sometimes some of these releases don't actually work on the Windows that you're using. So, it all depends on what type of Windows you're using, and of course the program files as well. So you can see that the installer, there's 32-bit, there's 64-bit, and ARM64. The one that we're using is the 64-bit package, so it works perfectly fine. Now, to actually use it, we've actually got the PyCharm. So this is the JetBrains. Now, it's got the Python with it. Now, with Python, you can also have Java or Kotlin. So if whatever way you're choosing to use it. Now, this is what it looks like. I am using PyCharm, as you can see. Now, it's fairly basic for what it is. Now, there's a lot that you could do with Python. It's very easy. Now, when you are creating the backend, even if you were trying to create maybe an X and O sort of game, it's easy to do because it doesn't require any of the HTML or CSS. Of course, it's completely backend. Well, it's preferred to use for backend. And if you were to do front-end development, then you'd be going for the likes of HTML along with JavaScript and the use of CSS. But overall, it's a very popular choice, as I've mentioned. And what I would say is great about this coding language is that Python is an interpreted language. And that means that it doesn't need to be compiled before execution. So if you're going to execute any type of code, that's what that means. Now, the Python interpreter reads the code line by line and executes it directly, and that makes the development and debugging very, very easy, or easier. Now, another thing that might be useful when using Python is the fact that it has a cross-platform compatibility. So Python is platform independent, and it allows developers to write code once and run it on multiple platforms, and that's without any modification. Now, this portability makes it convenient for developing cross-platform applications. Now, what I was trying to explain earlier on is that when I was trying to describe the XYZs, the actual development tool or the language itself is object-oriented programming, so OOP. So that means Python supports object-oriented programming, and that enables developers to use classes and objects. So I'll try to do an example on the class. So you can see here with the classes, and then of course when you are trying to use objects, you'll be able to organize and structure the code better. So OOP actually concepts such as encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism, they're all fully supported using this. Now, another thing as well is that Python can be extended using C or C++ code, and then that allows, of course, developers to integrate high-performance code and interact with low-level APIs and systems. Now, if you were to use Python, it'd be mainly used, as I said, the backend, and it can be used for various domains, including web development, which we're discussing now, or you can use it for data analysis or artificial intelligence, which is AI. You could use it for automation or scientific research. So it has full potential when using Python. So our next one is JavaScript. Now, this is a must-know language for web development. As I mentioned earlier on, if you're doing HTML and CSS based coding, you may want to know how to do JavaScript, as JavaScript is the primary source when doing front-end development, and it's to create a dynamic and interactive user interface. Now, say for example, I had a website, so I'll actually do one now. So we'll try to use an e-commerce website as an example. So if by any reason, if you are using JavaScript and you may want to create a basket, so this is one of the most simple things to do. If you want to create the functionality of it, then JavaScript would be the one to use. Now, you'd only be linking your JavaScript to the actual HTML. You can link it with CSS if you want to, but only if you're performing some sort of styles. So you would have to create some classes if you are doing so, or divs. But as well as front-end development anyway, you can use it with Node.js, and you can also use JavaScript for the server-side development, which makes it a full-stack language as well, so keep a note of that. And the popular front-end frameworks that uses JavaScript would be like React or Angular and Vue.js. They're all JavaScript based. So our next one is a PHP. Now, that would be a fairly good language to work on, being that it is the server-side scripting, and it's specifically designed for web development as well. Now, it's been around for a very long time, and it powers, of course, many content management systems like CMS, and they're the likes of WordPress, Wix, Shopify, Squarespace. Now, if you guys don't know what a content management system is, now it looks like this. So this is an example of a content management system. It's drag and drop, so you'll be able to pretty much click on an element, drag it onto the actual page, and as I said, so you could drag it and then drop it, and that's the element pretty much put in. Now I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. So mind you, this is PHP background coded, but it requires no code to the actual user. So if you were to go and edit the site, and then you could see that you can edit the header, or if I scroll down, I can add a block, I can add an image, and I can scroll it around or drag and drop it. So that's pretty much what that is. And to get started with PHP is very, very easy. So you would have to have a application or a plugin called Composer. Now, once Composer is downloaded, this is pretty much what comes out of it. And you'll be able to create a project. So this is an example here. This is Laravel. Now, Laravel uses PHP as well. And you can see that's what it looks like. And if I do cd or code into it, go ahead and open up the code, you can see that it will be PHP based. So if I go ahead and go to the Bootstrap, the app's PHP, as you can see. Or if we go to the config, you can see all of it is PHP, even the database, services, mail, logging, and the database itself, you can see that it uses PHP. So that is what that is. And what's great about PHP is that it's known for its ease of use and extensive community support. So you'll not be short for help when you are using the coding language PHP. So our next one is Java. Now, Java is a robust and highly scalable language, and it's used for various types of web applications. Now, I would say it's commonly used for the enterprise level of web development, and it's known for its portability and platform independence. Now, this is an example for it, which is NetBeans, and I'll actually go ahead and show you. So, Apache NetBeans does use Java, or Java NetBeans. So you can see here that it is Java based. We'll go ahead and open up the a example project. Now, it's known to be an object-oriented programming, and of course, well, it supports object-oriented programming, which means that it enables developers to use classes and objects, which helps them organize and structure code. And of course, as mentioned, OOP concepts such encapsulation, inheritance, and polymorphism. That's all fully supported. So I'll just wait for this to actually open up. Go ahead and click on this and then let you guys see what it looks like. So this is just an example of what it can be or what it can do. Now with the project, see if I can actually show you the engine for the actual source code. So this is the source code. So this is Java. As you can see, it uses classes as mentioned before, and then it uses objects as well. And that's of course to structure the code. So this is what it more or less looks like. You can see that text fields are used, and if I look at the design, now this is very, very basic, so do keep in mind that it is fairly basic. Now if I were to run this, see if this runs properly. So I'll try to see if this will run, but basically what this is meant to do is basically total up everything that's here. So depending how many trousers I have or how many t-shirts I have. So this is all backend. This is what you would use for backend. You would see here that you'll get some sort of receipt system. So we'll see if this works. But anyway, if you do double click, so this is the receipt, you can see that this is panel J2, and you can see the source code behind it as well. So that's what that would look like. Now with the design again, if I look at the first panel, or panel 4, so you can see within panel 4 we've got different text fields, and then I can check out the source code for that. And let's see if I manage it as well. So it's unfortunately not working, but the concept of this build is basically put down how many items were bought, and then of course you'll have a receipt system. So that's how that looks, and then of course you can reset it and click on receipt, total it, or exit. So that's what that looks like. But yes, as I said, it's commonly used for enterprise level web development, and it's very known for its portability and platform independence. But there you guys have it. Ultimately, the best language for web development depends on your specific needs and your team's expertise, as I've mentioned before. Now, if you are starting from scratch, you may want to focus on the front end development first. So JavaScript would be your best bet. And if you're maybe looking into doing some of back end for the website, then you may want to look into Python, PHP, and of course, there are plenty of other ones like Ruby. And Ruby is an expressive sort of language, and it's often used for web development. And Ruby on Rails follows like the convention over configuration principle, and that streamlines development by providing sensible defaults. So that would be an excellent choice as well. But yeah, that's what I would say is the best language. Just consider factors for your project's complexity, the scalability requirements, and of course the availability of libraries and frameworks when making your decision. But there you have it, guys. Hopefully you found the video helpful. If you did, please do leave us a comment in the comment section below. But other than that, I'll see you guys for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.